Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mafex Captain America comic version, and it's pretty good. I've been told it's really good by some people. Other people, of course, say, I don't like it, it's too skinny or whatever. And that's Mafex for you. You're going to get people that like it and people that don't. I'm going to tell you if it's good for what it is. I'm not going to judge it too harshly for being slender. They almost all are, so that's okay. Go into the review knowing that. If you don't like that, well, you don't have to watch it. But that's the way I'm going to do this review. It's not the bulkiest Captain America out there. None of their figures are. But there is a lot good about it, some stuff not so good, and we're going to talk about all of it. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we get into the figure, I want to show you my package. It is their standard packaging. I'm not in love with it. It's fine. It looks good enough, I guess. It's got a very particular style. Window is open on the top too, so you'll get some light in there. It's fine. It's just, I like the backs of the packages a lot. They have lots on there, so that's good. But if you're displaying it, I don't know. Do you guys like this whole pattern thing? It's a little off-putting for me. I'd rather just a solid color, I think. But that's a very specific and useless point of information, so let's set that aside and look at the actual figure. I'll put a link in the description below if you guys want to check this guy out. I think he's available in stock now. He stands just about 6.5 inches. That's going to make him roughly 16.5 centimeters. Here he is up against a Marvel Legends Darwin. So yeah, you could intermix them if you really wanted to. Darwin's supposed to be tall. He's not, though, so Cap's kind of small. Here he is, even though this is a pointless comparison, up against Marvel Select Captain America. I prefer my Captain Americas to have a little bit more bulk, but I get what they're going for, and it's the Mafex style, so it is what it is. Alright, question of the day. Did you guys know that Captain America had a pattern like this on his torso at one point? I didn't. I never paid that close attention. The red line not being in the center drives me nuts. I don't actually have OCD, but maybe I do, because that is killing me. I get it. It's split down the middle, red on one side, white on the other. So weird looking, not having experienced that in the past. Do you guys like that or not? Okay, on to the figure. He's not as slender as I thought he would be, so Mafex is definitely adding a little bit of bulk here and there. They're fixing their proportions here and there. He doesn't have the ridiculously long lower legs. Overall, it's fairly well proportioned. For a Mafex figure, I think it's gonna be fine. It's probably one of their better looking releases as far as the body type goes. Yes, I have him kind of like stick figure. He's just straight up and down right now. They look better as you pose them, for sure. But this one's not bad. There is paint throughout. There's shading on the light blue parts. Well, that's the only blue. So on the blue parts, there's shading on the white parts, there's shading on the red parts. It looks good. They've done more paint on this guy. And most of it does look good. However, some of it doesn't. These red stripes, particularly this one, front and not centered, is messy as heck. Not good. The rest is pretty good though. It's pretty clean. So there's that issue there, and then this issue right here where they didn't put enough paint on it. That looks bad. Otherwise, it's better than average for a Mafex paint job, so I will take that. I like the extra shading. It brings the figure to life. The face is very muted. I was worried about that when I saw the solicitation photos. He's very pale. I don't mind the style for the eyes and mouth. It's fine. I just wish he had a little bit of flesh tone in there rather than being almost white. It's not literally, but it is very, very pale. Ear could be painted a little bit better. But overall, for a Mafex release, it looks pretty good. I don't think if you're collecting this line, you're going to be bothered. If you are not collecting this line and just looking to pick things up, it might not be for you. It's a very particular kind of simplistic style. They're relatively slender. They don't have huge muscles and ripped, detailed sculpt work. And, well, this one has more paint, so I'll give them that. But it's not that. It is a very particular look. For a Mafex figure, it's good. I will say 8 out of 10. It's really solid aesthetically. Some room for improvement. That's just the way they look, guys. So if you don't like this style, then it's just not for you. And they are fairly expensive. Alright, for accessories, we have the normal head that you already saw. Then we do have the angry head. It's pretty good. I think it's alright. I don't like that the feather ear things are not symmetrical on this one, but that's okay, I guess, for an action pose. You get the unmasked head, which is actually pretty good. The hair looks alright, though it could be a little bit more consistently painted, but the face is nice enough, and the down cowl looks pretty good. You get a whole bunch of different hands. That's good. You get 2 hands with clips on them to help him hold his shield for throwing it. That's pretty cool. You do get 2 shields, one for his back, which is pretty nice, and then one for him to hold on his arm or to throw. Those have interchangeable pieces for when it's being thrown. Nicely done. They're glossy. Paint job is, mine has some stuff stuck in the paint, but otherwise it's clean. So pretty good spread of accessories. On top of that, you get the Mafex display stand, so I'm going to go 9 out of 10. There's not a whole lot this guy could use that he doesn't already have. Alright, let's talk about the articulation. We have ball pegs in the neck and head, so yes, that is how you want to do necks and heads, and that works really well. No issues posing that at all. He does have a fairly standard butterfly type of joint, nothing crazy going on, but you do get some extra posability out of that. So it's not a ton, but they do have one of the better setups for this sort of situation, so that's fine. His shoulder is getting pretty tight. The Cyclops I reviewed lately needed silicone. This feels like it's going to, like any minute as I'm using it, it's going to just seize up. But yeah, you get good range. Seems to be pretty functional. Maybe there's some lube in there because it's not getting stuck yet, but it feels like it will. Bicep swivel is fine. This is all painted though, so be very careful. Double jointed elbow works nicely. Yeah, that's a pretty good elbow. I'll take it. Then the wrists are on their little ball hinges. That's fine. Ball pegs throughout here. Let's see how it functions. He leans back pretty well using both joints. Not a ton at the top. They tend to do that. I'm not sure why, but it works well enough and it's not super gappy. Going forward, pretty good range. I'll take it. These thinner, crazier stripes on him are not my thing. They're visually distracting. Do you guys like the more classic cap look, or do you guys like the more modern one with the fatter stripes? I think I'm a more modern type of guy, and I'll take the shoulder straps too, but this is still good. That's just a personal side note. Yeah, his torso poses pretty well if you use both joints. Just the top joint's not the best, but it'll work. And you should be fine, so that's good. They seem to be getting better at that. Now for the hips, they're still doing drop downs, and they look decent when they're not dropped down. When they are dropped down, obviously they get weird, but do we actually have good range on these hips? Not the best. It's just about 45 degrees, honestly, going out to the side. Going forward with the leg fully dropped, you can bring the leg up pretty far, but I mean, it's still just horizontal, and it uses a drop down to just get to horizontal. I'm not a fan of that. I get they do it to make this look nicer when it's not posed, but most people are posing them, so I don't know that that's necessary. Drop downs tend to get loose and annoying, so I don't prefer that. These aren't the worst though. Thigh swivel is in there. It's probably good enough. Double jointed knee is okay. Still have longer lower legs than they should be, but it's not too bad, and you get good range, so that's fine. I wish the boot had a little bit more cuff to it. It's very, very tight to the leg. That's not an articulation thing though. The ankles go okay. Back, not super far. They don't go forward at all. That's bad. Ankle rocker is nice though, so that's good. And the toe joint is bad. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. What is that? It's loose. There's a big chunk of plastic right here. And it's so far back on the foot. That's one of the worst toe joints ever. That is bad. Alright, so his articulation is gonna get a 7. It's nothing special. His upper half is pretty nice. His lower half is not impressive at all. I'd say the biggest weak point for Mafex in terms of articulation is the hips. It has been for a long time and they haven't fixed it. The rest is pretty solid, but the hips are kind of important for posing, so it'll be fine. Depending on what you want to do with his hips, but otherwise it's fairly impressive, not impressive. That's the best way I could describe it. So, time for the final verdict. Is this the be-all, end-all Captain America figure that nobody needs to buy another one ever again? I don't know, maybe. If you really like this version of Cap, then you could probably get away with this one being your last purchase, at least for the foreseeable future. Nothing terribly wrong with it. I don't know if it's as impressive as some people are making it out to be, but it's solid. It's fine. If you're not into this cap, then it's just a decent cap, and you're going to have to wait for one where he's got some more muscle or a different outfit or something, because it's not that. But for what it is, I have to say it's a pretty good release. Is it their best one? I don't think so. There are some issues, but it is good. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 8 out of 10. It's a good release. It lets me down in some places. You can't make a character with stripes on his torso and then F up the paint job. That's just not okay. It's not good enough. The hips still don't work well. Things like that bother me. The toe joint's horrible. you know, it could be a lot better. So 8 out of 10 is fair. These are fairly expensive, but really good accessories, and it is a solid release. I'm happy to own it, and I think if you're a Cap fan, you will be too. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it from me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.